¿Qué tal? Buenos días a todos.
Buenos días.
Hola, hola.
Bien, gracias a Dios. Saludos a todos. Soy el profesor Adrián Sandoval, de Colegio Highlands, Monterrey, del turno vespertino por ahí. Acabo de iniciar en la coordinación, dirección académica del colegio. Gracias.
Al final de la presentación va a haber un código QR para que llenen su asistencia y los datos que ahí se les piden, coordinador.
Claro que sí. Muchísimas gracias, maestra.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sí. Mejor le quito el audio, ¿verdad? Mejor que... En unos minutitos más, iniciamos la asesoría.
Voy a poner fotos de todo.
Es necesario grabarlo desde aquí. Aquí le puede... Es que no veo porque no... Está como...
Pues muy buenos días. Le damos la más cordial de las bienvenidas a todos nuestros maestros y maestras de la asignatura de inglés. Estamos aquí en el Departamento Técnico de Educación Secundaria y primeramente quiero expresarles un respetuoso saludo de parte de nuestra secretaria de Educación, nuestra doctora Sofía Leticia Morales Garza, y de parte de la licenciada Norma Patricia Sánchez Regalado, que es la subsecretaria de Educación Básica, igualmente del director de Educación Secundaria, el profesor José Ezequiel Rodríguez Calderón. Me da muchísimo gusto saludarlos nuevamente a todos ustedes. Estamos ya en la recta final del ciclo escolar 2021-2022. Y como ustedes saben, esta es la tercera etapa de asesoría para presidentes de academia de zona. Igualmente, se hizo la invitación para los presidentes de academia de escuela. Sin embargo, sabemos que tanto nuestros supervisores, nuestros directores, ustedes como presidentes de academia de zona de la Academia de Inglés, están atentos a todo el avance significativo académico de nuestros alumnos. Quiero expresarles que el objetivo general de esta asesoría es brindar orientación y asesoría a los docentes sobre los componentes técnico-pedagógicos de los programas educativos vigentes. Estamos hablando de los programas educativos 2017 para primero y segundo y 2011 para tercero. Estamos trabajando alrededor de los contenidos de estos programas que están vigentes. La temática general que vamos a abordar en esta mañana de parte de los maestros que coordinan esta asesoría, los maestros de inglés, es planeación estratégica transversalizada con español y matemáticas para la recuperación de los aprendizajes. Como ustedes saben, tanto en el Consejo Técnico este pasado y el antepasado, estuvieron viendo la transversalización tanto con lengua y comunicación y lectura, y en esta guía última que acabamos de terminar de Consejo Técnico, estuvimos viendo todo lo relacionado con matemáticas, es decir, el cálculo matemático. Y justamente la asesoría, la tercera reunión de asesoría, implica esas acciones, es decir, la planeación estratégica transversalizada con español y matemáticas. Sabemos que esta mañana va a ser una mañana muy productiva, especialmente porque en este momento, créanme, tenemos un aforo de 95 presidentes de academia de zona. Esperamos que se vayan integrando el resto de los presidentes de academia de zona, que son aproximadamente unos 180 presidentes de academia de zona, y algunos maestros más que quieran incorporarse a esta asesoría. Quiero expresarles a todos ustedes nuestro reconocimiento por todas las acciones que han venido realizando, sobre todo en esta última etapa de servicio educativo presencial. Sabemos que ustedes como docentes a la vez se enfrentan una problemática muy diversificada en sus aulas. Alumnos que estuvieron muy atentos durante la educación a distancia, alumnos que sí hicieron trabajos colaborativos, alumnos que sí entregaron sus trabajos, pero también ustedes tuvieron la experiencia de los alumnos que escasamente se integraron a educación a distancia, que no entregaban sus trabajos, pero que ahora, en este momento, ya la gran mayoría está en educación presencial, y esa educación presencial en este último trimestre, sobre todo, va a permitir que se vaya equilibrando ese proceso de aprendizaje de nuestros alumnos. Entonces, nuestro reconocimiento, porque ustedes son los que enfrentan toda esa problemática con muchísima atención de parte de los padres de familia, pero también una desatención que en algunas ocasiones se enfrentan. Les agradecemos que se hayan conectado a esta reunión. Les reconocemos, les mandamos un fuerte abrazo y vamos a iniciar. En esta mañana participan la Academia de Inglés, que es la maestra Bertalicia Guerrero Sáenz, la maestra Esther Noemí Medellín Guerrero y la maestra Silvia Ernestina Chávez Palacio. Yo las dejo con ellas y que sea una mañana muy, muy productiva. Un abrazo. Tiene la palabra maestra Esther.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Rivas, for handing me in the microphone. All right. Let me share a screen, please. Do you see the presentation? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
teacher.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's start. I hope everyone is doing okay and that all of you are in good health and with your family as well, which is very important in our lives, our family and us, the health that we have. This is the third meeting we have in this year, the third and the last meeting for presidents of English in a school zone, all right? What are we gonna see in this 2 hours? We're gonna talk about aims, okay, on the next slide. We're gonna talk about English is fun, which is more or less like this. I'm gonna show you some in the slides. We're gonna talk about the didactic tutorial guides and English bits. Remember that the English bits are the cápsulas, okay, that we spoke about in our first meeting. Then we're gonna talk about first grade, second and third grade. And in that information, it comprises context, planning, and cross-curricular activities, okay? Our aims are, what are our aims? What do we expect to do right here in this meeting? Well, we're gonna check how English is Fun is working out in your schools. We're gonna strengthen English learning by using the didactic guides, tutorial guides, English Bits, and Escuela TV, which is still a program that continues on TV and that it might help your students support them in their English learning in Escuela TV. And the last thing is to integrate cross-curricular teaching that Dr. Rivas was talking about, like the transversalización, right? So let's start with our first topic, English is Fun. So as you see right here, I have like a booklet of English is Fun for first grade. There's the activities for second, third grade as well. Now, what is English is Fun? English is Fun is 2 ludic activities per social practice of the language. That means that in first grade, we have 10 social practices of the languages. So we have 20 activities, 20 ludic activities related to the social practices of the language we are working with our students. Example, let me put this. Here we have in the slide, connect the dots with the dog, okay? So the social practice of the language is exchanges opinion about a community service, all right? And I tell the students in this booklet that you have, that is in red eyes, and that we can put again for you in this session, is connect the dots and then answer the question. So the students have fun doing the connecting the dots. Remember, this activity is for first grade, but then they are directed to one question. And the question is, if you want to help a dog, if you love dogs or cats and you want to help them, how would you be a volunteer, a community service volunteer? Well, some can say, well, we can work in a shelter, cleaning the places where the dogs are in the shelter. Some can say, well, I don't have any time, but I can telephone an association that helps and protects animals and tell them that there's a dog right here in the street, in these blocks, that maybe they can help bring a truck and get the dog to a hospital or someplace where they can help them. So it's part of being helping dogs, okay? Then we have here the Smokey the Bear. This is for second grade, okay? This activity where we have Smokey the Bear. And here we have a table that has words, different types of words. What they have to do in this activity is to color one of each column, one word of each column, so they can make an expression at the end. For example, from the first column, I can color only. From the second, you. From the third, can. Only you can. And then they have to select sue, bottle, turn, prevent, dishes. Only you can prevent. Wild, search, forest, orange, or apple. They have to choose one and color it, okay? The expression is only you can prevent wildfires because it's Smokey the Bear, okay? Now, then we have, why do we use this booklet? Why? What is the purpose? Well, when you go, you have 4 knowledge fairs during the year. Okay, and in the knowledge fair, you have to present the material that the students made in your classes, okay? The products, like the poster for emergency, environmental emergencies, etc. You can use this, the ludic activities also, as part of the products the students do in the knowledge fair. The last knowledge fair we passed was on March the 1st to the 4th. And the next knowledge fair where you can use this booklet plus the material you make with your students is on June the 13th to the 17th. That's the next knowledge fair. And that's the purpose of letting you know this booklet about English is Fun. We have here a picture of Dr. Anastasia Rivas that it was in March 1st to the 4th on Secondary 86, Cumbre de las Americas. She is the speaker right there, and she went to see all the work the students did in that knowledge fair. Then we have another activity right here in Secondary 104, Mariano Azuela. Here in this one that I have pointed out, you see like a skeleton. Remember that we have human body systems, and the students made like a skeleton with the parts of the body, okay? So I think some of you have already begun working and doing the knowledge fair. Some schools probably haven't made their arrangements to do the knowledge fair, but there's another opportunity on June the 13th and 17th to do the knowledge fair where you can introduce all the works your students do. What is the material available that we have here for you to share with you? Well, we have, like we see right here in the photograph, in the picture, we have the didactic tutorial guides for first, second, and third, okay? Although I have to say that not all the social practices of the language are included in those booklets, only like 3 social or 4 social practices of the language. Then we have another material for you, which is Escuela TV, okay? Then we have the PAW tunes. This is a PAW tune I'm gonna put for you about 2nd grade, where he speaks about PSA, public service announcement. And we have also the links, so you can just click on the link, stop it when you need it, or the student stop it when he needs it and reviews it again, so they can come up. When can you use the English bits? These are the English bits. When can you use the English bits? Well, you can use them prior to the lesson. Start with the lesson, before you tell them, you assign them, this is your homework, watch the video, watch this link. It's 3 minutes long, it's not too long, okay? So they watch it, and when they come to your class, they have now more knowledge about what you're gonna talk about. Let me put the video so you can see it. Okay, let me move here.
Using Powtoon.
So there we have
Ya hay 118.
there we have the Powtoon for 2nd grade. All right. What else do we have? We have here, it's like where you click on this is of math. Okay, you click it, and in math, they have an English version that has problems, arithmetic problems for the students to solve which are like, for example, we have a page of one of these booklets that has body system, and the letter is in English. They write like a story, a simple story in English, and then they have to do the math. It's based only on arithmetic, sum, minus, timetables, division, the basic, okay? What else? Okay, now let's start with our topic, okay? Making cross-curricular teaching part of your planning, okay? So you see there, it's more or less like a timetable, a schedule of any school, okay? Where we have different types of subjects like chemistry, physics, math, Spanish, art, etc. Okay? So the timetable, the schedule splits into chunks of time based on subjects. Now, organizing these school days by subjects is good in a matter because it ensures that the students get the proper time to study and to learn the necessary skills and information for one of the disciplines, one of the subjects, okay? However, let me tell you, there's a downside. Organizing the school day by subjects and time-based, okay? Because the subjects are seen like an egg crate. You see here the egg crate? See, they are isolated, they are separated. So that form that we use in our schools without introducing cross-curricular teaching separates, isolates the subjects, okay? What can we do? Is there a better way to do it? Wait a minute, is there a better way to do it? We're in a crossroad. What way, what road do we choose to make our students see that it's more relevant what they are learning in class because it's interconnected with other subjects as well as life itself? How can we show our students that the learning process is not as isolated as it seems? The answer to that is cross-curricular teaching, okay? We show our students the relevance and interconnectedness of learning. So how do we do this? Well, we do it by integrating the knowledge and skills of one subject, of one area, into the work done in another subject or area, okay? That means connecting what they are seeing in Spanish with English, what they are seeing in history with what they are seeing in Spanish with history. For example, let me give you some examples of this. Before I start with the examples, let's see that here we have, for first grade, the third term, we have 3 products to see. The itinerary, the social practice of the language where you analyze cultural differences in cartoon strips, and language diversity. These are the 3 products we have to see during this term, the last term that we have in secondary. I'm gonna focus only in the itinerary to show you the example of how can you do the cross-curricular teaching with the itinerary, okay? So first, what do we have to do? Well, I make a word map on my own when I'm planning, or a C-map, whatever you want. I did the itinerary because it's easier for the word map, because for me it was more easier to understand how the other subjects can help me in the itinerary with my English students. Okay, so what does the itinerary have to have? It has to have the number of days for the trip, probably the distance. And if we're talking about distance, is connected with math. Do we get the information in kilometers? Do our students know the difference between meters and kilometers? Do they understand the concept that kilometers is bigger, is larger, a larger measure than meters? Okay, we're going to talk about budget also to make the itinerary, probably put some cost prices of, you make this trip and you are allowed to do 100 pesos to enter the museum, 50 pesos to go to that historical site. What else do we have to see in an itinerary? Where are they going? The places they are going to visit in the travel itinerary, the cities and the countries. That's related to geography, also to time zones. We have to take into account time zones. And I'm gonna relate this time zones with the planning I'm gonna show you, okay? And art. If they have to make an itinerary on their own, on a blank sheet of paper, they can use the computer if they want to do the itinerary. And if they don't have computers, well, they can use it with pen and pencil and some cutouts or something like that, or drawings they made on their own, so they can make the itinerary. So art is related also. Of course, English for grammar and spelling, okay? And Spanish, because in Spanish, one of the purposes of Spanish is for the students to achieve how can they summarize information from other sources. And with the itinerary, the social practice of the language that we are seeing with the itinerary, they have to collect information from various sources, and they have also to summarize, okay? So we are in this way helping also Spanish, all right? So how can we integrate those subjects? These are the examples I was talking about a few minutes ago. How can we integrate those subjects? Well, begin planning concrete ways you can integrate these things into your main lesson or other skills into your main list. For example, if you're talking about, if you're talking about a history lesson, you're starting a history lesson, you can read a poem before starting a history lesson. Remember that in English, we have some social practices in 2nd grade and 3rd grade where they speak about a historical event. Well, we can start with a short poem of that historical event, and we're relating Spanish poems, English poems to what we, we're gonna share this PowerPoint presentation with you. Yes, enredáis, all right? Reading a poem before starting a history lesson. Another thing, another idea is when someone is speaking about World War II, this is another example. Well, we can start the lesson by reading an entry of Anne Frank's diary. This is like so cute. I like this idea a lot. I love it. Reading an entry in the history class or reading an entry in Anne Frank's diary with the write about historical events here in Mexico or in other parts of the world that we have in the social practices of the language in English. They can speak, okay, if you're talking about World War II, you can speak also about atomic bombs because it's when in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they were launched the 2 bombs. So we can speak and relate it to applied technology. The science they had in those times to make the atomic bomb, okay? We can speak also where battles took place and we're relating it to geography. Classical tales, that's one of the social practices we have. Well, how can we relate it with other things, with other subjects? Well, we can speak about author's nationality. Well, Snow White was made what Perrenot, that's a French author. Okay, where's France? They can color it in a map, okay? A small map that you have here Mexico and you have here. The places where it took place, the the classic tales, although I know that some of the classic tales don't have a real place to begin. They just say it's a palace, okay? It's in a faraway kingdom. They don't mention it, but sometimes they might have the place and they can look it up in their map and say it. After reading the classical tales and all the stuff that you have to do so they can learn, so they can achieve these learning outcomes. The place and the date. When did they make that classic tale? When did Perrineau made that Snow White classical tale? When? Okay, how long was it ago? Do the math, subtraction, okay? Subtract. Today is 2022 and the author lived in 1894, okay, more or less. So how long ago did he wrote the classical tale? So you're fostering there and helping math. In our script for silent movies, we can talk about how long did it happen? When did we use as humanity, as mankind, when did we use silent movies? At the beginning of the 20th century, okay? Do the math, like I said before. Why in black and white? Ask them the question. Why were silent movies in black and white? Go to the physics. When was color TV invented? Okay, related, okay? So they have, they know that we are interconnected. What they are learning right here in English is interconnected with other subjects, as well as with the lives itself of mankind, the history of mankind. So there are some things to how to collaborate with other teachers, two especially that I'm going to mention right now. The first one is aligned collaboration, okay? And aligned collaboration is when you get together with your colleagues from other subjects at the beginning of the year, you work in your schools, okay? Or by Zoom, whatever you decide, okay? And you start like saying, okay, Spanish is comic strips and English does too. So why don't we teach the related things at similar times? So when they are seeing comic strips in Spanish, we are seeing comic strips in English at the same time, all right? That is aligned collaboration, okay? Then we have another type of collaboration, which is called cooperative collaboration. In this cooperative collaboration, what you do is you can share material. Okay, what the geography teacher, the map the geography teacher uses, the big map, you can use it also in the English class, okay? For example, make an agreement with other teachers to help each other teach and maintain a consistent approach. For example, if essays are suggested in history, follow the format taught in the Spanish class. For example, there's the MLA format that we use in English. For example, why not, instead of doing the front page of any work with Escuela Secundaria Técnica número, the name of the student, the date, the teacher, the subject, and the topic, why not put it in an MLA format where it starts in the first page where you start doing the writing? You don't need a front cover. You just, the homework is done here, or the work is done here, but at the beginning, you put all the information you put in the front cover instead. And you put the name of the student, the date, the group, the subject, what's the topic? Why don't use the similar format in each of the classes, okay? So that way you relate the MLA format, Modern Language Association format, to identify in other subjects, in all the subjects. That's cooperative collaboration, okay? Now, what are the benefits of using cross-curricular teaching? The benefits of cross-curricular teaching is that the more connections the brain makes, the more it retains information and it retains information and learns, okay? Another benefit, cross-curricular teaching helps students make more connection, but I highlighted meaning and relevance. It gives more meaning and relevance to the subject and skills they are learning, okay? Because it's not, oh, I see the topics of English, se acabó, only 40 minutes, that's it. I'm not gonna see them again. No, you can see them in other subjects as well, okay? The other one is the students begin to see that the things they are learning in the school have practical applications beyond the isolated classroom, okay? Another thing, remember that we were focusing on the travel itinerary, agrees with others about a travel itinerary, okay? Let's see. We have 4 learning outcomes, 4 achievement. For the first achievement, what can you do for researchers and looks for information? What can you do so our students get to that achievement? Well, make a list of different places to go to. What sources where can you find information about trips and destination? Disregard proposals based on the information you look for. Take notes of the data that suppose the proposal and feasible ideas. Achievement number 2, compares pros and cons about proposals given. You can do a T-chart, etc., a graphic organizer, so they can see the pros and the cons to go to a certain place. With those 2 achievements, I'm going to show you right now planning made specially for those 2 achievements. We're going to leave behind makes arguments and listen and expresses for later on, okay? So this is the example, the sample. I don't know why I put it in Spanish. The sample. I think I got mixed up with my languages, okay? This is, let me show you the example of the planning, all right? Let me put it bigger. And let's see. Now, do you see it? Do you see it, teachers? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a proposed format, okay? So we have the information, the general information that all the plannings have to have. The name of the school, the teacher's name, subject, grades for it, the term, the date that comprises, where are we going to work? From this day to this day, we're going to work with this planning, the environment, social practice of the language, the product, the achievements. We have the 2 achievements that I spoke about on my last slide. Looks and reads information, compares pros and cons about proposal givens. So let's start cross-curricular teaching right here. So let me see it right here. We have, if you had the money and time to travel, where would you go? We can use a graphic organizer, see? So they can put the places where they might go if you had the time and the money. This could be done individually, IW, individual work, PW, pair work, TW means teamwork, and GW means work group. Okay, in this case, we're gonna work individually and in pair work, okay? Then after making the list of 4 places where, make a list of 4 places where you can find information about trips, destinations, distances, language spoken. Now, we have to make our students think, where can they find that type of information? Distances, languages spoken, destination, information. Where can they find information about trips? Okay, so they start brainstorming. You start brainstorming, okay? And they come up, well, I can go to a travel agency where I can look it up in the internet, teacher, okay, to see the distance. I want to go to Korea to see BTS or to hear them sing. They're in a concert and I love that group, okay? Bring some images. Another activity will be bring some images of the place or places you choose and paste them in the notebook with the following information: distance from Monterrey, language, means of transportation to get there. I put here spa, Spanish, and the period, spa, period. Why? Because they have to look for information, they have to summarize and get only the information you asked for, okay? Now, in a map, locate the places you have chosen to go and the place where you live. That's related to geography, okay? I'm here in Nuevo León, this is Monterrey, okay? And I want to go to Veracruz, or I want to go and visit my grandmother in Acapulco, okay? So they color the two things, and that's related to geography. Now, in this chart, departing from, this is a graphic organizer, departing from Monterrey. Destination, they put their destination, the language that is spoken there, the distance, and the means of transportation. So the information they got, because they got a lot of information, they just put the necessary information in that chart. They are summarizing in a way, okay? And here we have the maps where they can color. Here we are in Monterrey, and this is in Acapulco where my grandmother lives there, okay? Or here we are in Mexico, and this is where I want to go in Korea to see BTS, okay? Now, for the development stage, okay, show your pictures and images to your peers, okay? Use the following expression. So they have their pictures and they show it. This is the picture where I want to go. And start oral practice like this. I would like to travel to Mérida because I think it's a very beautiful city. And they tell me that it is white. It is called the white city. Or any other expression, you know that you have taught your students to express preferences about a place that you have because you talk about likes and dislikes, all right? Then pick 2 places you really want to go. Of those 4 places you chose, pick 2 places you really want to show it to your teams, write them in your notebook. Let's imagine, now we're gonna contextualize in a situation. Let's imagine your dad won a raffle, 15,000 pesos. Your family hasn't traveled for a long time and you have a long weekend ahead. Remember that the 21st, we get off, all right? Because you have a free day on March 21st. Your mom is the only one who can go with you. Where would you go? You only have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to go on a trip. And you have the budget of 15,000 pesos. So our students have to think, okay, if I chose Korea, I have to eliminate Korea because it's way too long and 15,000 pesos won't cover my airfare, time and money. So I put here in this chart, the pros. Trip to Korea and the team members that are solving this problem, okay? The pros, I can see the concert of BTS. The cons, it's too long. The pros, I can buy more stuff about BTS. The cons, travel expenses are high if I go there, okay? The expressions we can use when they are talking about this is, that's not good. That's a quite good idea. We really should. Why don't we go? I want to go, but I think it's too long. It's too expensive. It's too, Then they write another, because remember that we focus on choosing only 2 places they would like to go. We have here San Luis Potosí, team members, pros, it's nearer. Cons, I don't have any relatives there, but I can go and sightsee in San Luis Potosí. That's another pro. The cons, well, I don't see another con about San Luis Potosí. Maybe with the 15,000, that's a pro. With the 15,000 pesos that my dad won, my mom and I can go to that trip in San Luis because it's more cheaper to travel by bus and in Mexican pesos than to go abroad to another country, okay? After they do these 2 T-shirts, because these are the 2 T-shirts, you socialize your decision using the projector, okay? And remember that the students' interaction here are individual, pair work, and teamwork. At the final part here, in the T-shirts, they are in teamwork, okay? Closing. What information can we use if we are making a trip itinerary? Jot down the ideas you come up with. This will be done for pair work. And what are the cross-curricular relationships with other subjects? I use math, geography, and Spanish, okay? Propósitos de español en secundaria, expresar sus ideas y defender sus opiniones. In the pros and cons, their opinions. Valorar el diálogo y adoptar una actitud crítica y reflexiva como formas privilegiadas. When they are in teams, they are talking, they are thinking, they are reflecting, and they are saying, okay, this is better going to this place than going to the other place. They are analyzing the information from different medias, okay? And then they are making their own personal opinion. And achievement from Spanish, elabora resúmenes que integren la información de diferentes fuentes. Here in math, es forma, espacio y medida. Este eje incluye los espacios relacionados con el espacio, formas geométricas, medición. Entonces aquí va el sistema métrico decimal para comprender, describir y representar el entorno en el que viven, así como resolver problemas. Y allí estamos resolviendo un problema when we decide which one of the trips we're going to make using the distance, the kilometers or the meters, okay? And in geography is interpreta representaciones cartográficas para obtener información de diversos lugares, regiones, países y territorios, ¿sí? Entonces ya en el mapa él está interpretando, ok, a San Luis se ve más cerquita, a Corea se ve más grande. Está interpretando el mapa, la representación cartográfica, okay? And this is the suggestion on how to making cross-curricular teaching part of your plan for first grade, all right? There's the last thing that I want to talk about. It's about cartoons, because you saw that we were going to talk about cultural differences between cartoons. Here I have my envelopes that I saw, took a picture there. And there are from different cartoons, from Snoopy, from Cul-de-sac, from Fred Bassett, from Blue Clues, etc. So what are you going to do there? Well, this is an idea, just an idea, suggestion of idea. So I laminate my cartoon and I make 8 envelopes because they are going to work in teams. I laminate my cartoons, I put them in the envelope, they are in this order, okay? And they have to put it in the correct sequence. You see here in the picture, this is the Fred Bassett. It's in this order. They have to make it in the correct sequence. You can start like asking, after they put it in order, what's the name of the cartoon? Who's the author? Because it says here in the cartoons, in the comic strip, etc. Or you can, do you think this is Does this happen here in Mexico? Something like that, okay? Because remember that here in the cartoons, we are comparing cultural differences. Are we able to do this? What the dog is doing, right? Jumping in the backyard here in our houses in Mexico? Yes or no? Cultural differences. Okay, and that's it for me for the first grade. I'm going to let you continue with Miss Silvia Chavez Palacios, and she's going to talk to you about second grade. It was nice talking to you all and to see you again, Pedro, etc., etc., etc. Although I can say hello to everyone and each of you, okay, by this means.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Silvia Chavez, and I will try to do to you an academic support with the difference in this period. First of all, I suggest that you have your class with a simple motivation every class, asking to your students, how do you feel? How are you today? Ready to learn something new and useful? Today we are going to read what is the topic? What is the topic? What is the expected learner in this period? We are teaching about complaints, comparison charts, and discussion panel. You can motivation to your students asking about what sports they are practicing in this time, like a swimming, soccer, basketball, football, baseball, and running, and how they feel. In this slide, we have the doses about complaints, about the table, about the around a comparison chart, and a panel discussion. This slide is in Spanish, and you can see where in this third period whether the expected learning your students have to learn. Now we have the like a conceptual map about the expected learning that your students have to learn. Here complaints about the product, interprets main ideas in details of complaints, compare oral complaints. Okay, what is social environment learning, family and community? What is social practice of the language? Express, complain about a product. Achievement, expected learning. Listen to complain about a product. What the final product? What the final product? Complaints. This is in a links, a website, you can find in YouTube making complaints. This is the links in a school, in a factory, in a different videos that you have to meet in YouTube. If you don't have the technology in your school, you can recommend it to your students that they can see like in home. Most of your students have internet in home, and you can recommend it this website in YouTube. There are a lot of links, website that show you that this topic, making complaints. You can remember, the spectrum learners are aligned, correlated to various subjects. Miss Medellin explained to you that transversalidad with all the subjects in the different topic that you are teaching in English. Math, Spanish, chemistry, biology, science, art, etc. There are a lot of topics you can correlate it to various subjects, geometrics, decimal metric system, etc. You can relate it with Spanish because in Spanish you have tests, narrations, leisure, tale, comics, novels, newspaper, etc. How evaluation the different topics in English? You can see with easy evaluation, could be oral or could be with a simple exam, but you can evaluation in different way. Another topic, another expected learning in this period is read short literary essays. Reads and understand ideas detailed from literary essays. Describe and compare cultural aspects and current situation. Environment, academic and ludic. Social practice of the language, read short literary essays to contrast cultural aspects. Achievement, review short literary essays, read and understand main ideas and details from literary essays. Describe and compare cultural aspect. What's the final product? Compare chart. I recommend that you can suggest to your students different books or different review short literary essays. And you can choose, you can recommend that different simple essays, or your students can choose a different small short story, biography, etc. This is a link you can choose. The teacher suggests to the student short story, fables, essays in English. Expected learning. Reads and understand ideas, details from literary essays. Some very simple, these ideas I recommended, but you can choose another ones. It doesn't matter. Describe and compare cultural aspect. With $1, you can see they have different range from the dollars former and the presidents. You can describe the money, the bills the United States have. You can choose the peso or money or bills, etc. You can compare different topics. You can show different topics. I suggest the cold, flu, bees, compare the cold, compare with flu, compare with coronavirus, etc. Just the students have the idea comparison chart in different, you can choose different topic, it doesn't matter. This is an example. This is an example, comparison chart about the symptoms of a cold or flu. And I describe in this slide the symptoms of cold or flu. Remember, you're the teacher and you can choose another topic. Just I suggest comparison chart. For a final product, your students can choose sentences to contrast a cultural aspect of another place with your now with your own culture. Describe and compare current issues. Could be in oral expression. Your students can present your final product with oral expression. Describe and compare cultural aspects. Could be Mexico and United States, but could be another topic. Could be another topic. Okay. Another topic, another aspect of learning is the panel discussion in this period. The panel discussion, you can select many of different topics or different time. Okay, the topic panel discussion, you can talk with your students about learn English, online tutors, virtual education, daily activities, moral dilemmas, bullying, about internet, tradition, sport, feeling, movie, television, about emotion, about best friends, about cooking, food, drinks. You can prepare a topic discussion with coronavirus, education at home or at school, etc. Okay. We can use, Ms. Medellin explained to you the transversality that we can use in all the topics that we are teaching with your students. In this third period, check the test. Civic and ethical training, select information. Understands general meaning and main ideas. Discuss points of view by participating in a panel discussion. Okay, environment, academic, and training. The social practice of the language is discuss points of view by participating in a panel discussion. Achievement, check tests, understand main ideas, meaning ideas, understand general meaning and main ideas. Discuss points of view by participating in a panel discussion. Okay, about that transversality, la transversalidad that we use a moral values could be okay, I'm sorry. Okay, about moral values, honesty, tolerance, liberty, discipline, prudence, gratitude, solidarity, abnegation, responsibility, respect, ambition, courage, modesty, happiness, generosity, honor, I'm sorry.
Sí.
Okay. You can talk to your students about moral values, about modesty, responsibility, loyalty, harmony, ambition, courage, modesty, happiness, empathy, collaboration, etc. This is a plan. This is a plan of second grade, of secondary. This is an idea. You can choose the topic, the time, but it's very important, the plan in class, the initial, beginning, development, and closing. Ms. Medellin explained to you that idea, that the importance that you have to have a plan in each class. Now I suggest different strategies about when you are teaching an English class. I recommended use didactic material, and it's very important your students use of the dictionary. It's very, very important because the dictionary have the words in English. Spectre learning, your students have to know the spectre learning goal. A conceptual map, the idea of the spectre learning. Recognition, I recommended the recognition of the students' progress. Teaching the 4 English competencies: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Measuring learning with a simple evaluation. I suggest teaching by having the students learning to learn in autodidactic way. How? I say to your students, you don't have to study too much. Just ludic, with a ludic form. Playing, watching TV, videos, movie, YouTube, listen to music, etc. English is very simple. Okay, methodology. What kind of methodology you can use? I recommend a social culture approach. Technique, dialogue, dramatization, read test, write, exercise, dictation, teaching resources like a song, games, use of ludic materials, music, radio, TV, films, programs in English, video games, etc. Okay. In this slide, I suggest I share different application, different website that you can find, like a Google Meet, YouTube, Zoom, Facebook, Thinkly, Plickers, etc. In this slide, I recommended some links or some website in English that you can use, you can share. Also, you can give it to your students. It's very important because they can teach, they can learn by themselves. Remember, you have recommended to your students the program of the SEP, Secretaría de Educación, like the Aprende en Casa. You have también Aprende en Casa, and you have Escuela TV. Remember the topics in this period. The topic in this period are comparison chart, complaints. Is very important. Focus in this period is about complaints, comparison chart, and panel discussion. Remember, it's very important in your class, the beginning, beginning in your class, beginning and evaluation with a simple form. This kind of material, it will be in Redice, in Redice. Please, my Dr. Bertita, it will continue with the third grade. I'm sorry with the difficulties with the internet here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, excellent.
I'm sorry, please, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, it's excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. Nice to be with you again. My name is
Morning.
Morning. Good morning. My name is Bertalicia Guerrero Sáenz. Now we're going to continue with third grade activities. In this grade, we're working with the 2011 program. We're going to begin talking about the last 3 social practices of the language for this school year. The first one is interpret and express everyday life instructions. The second one is understand and express differences and similarities between cultural aspects from Mexico and English-speaking countries. And the last one is produce texts to participate in academic events. In this session, we're going to work with the first social practice of the language, and the achievement is going to be write instructions. They're in red in our program. We as teachers know all this information and then organize our lesson plans. We as teachers have to know. We have to know all this information and organize our lesson plan. So it is important to know that the social practice of the language, where the achievement is, all this information must be written in our lesson plan format. Therefore, the social practice of the language is going to be interpret and express everyday life instructions. The environment is familiar and community. The specific competency, understand and give instructions to plan a field trip. The product that we're going to work with is activity schedule, and the achievement, write instructions. In the achievement, write instructions, and to develop this achievement or any other, the teacher has to know with the students, has to work with the students some contents that they should know or learn. In this achievement, the students are going to work with sentence structure. They're going to write instructions. They're going to use words and expressions to link ideas. They may give explanations to clarify instructions, use models, verb tenses, and use the imperatives.
Voy a apagar el micrófono.
For example, the students since first grade, they identify sentence structure. And the first pattern in this basic, the first pattern is the most basic one. For example, is subject and verb. And the example can be, we relaxed, or I haven't been practicing. The second pattern, this is moving by itself. The second pattern has one more element. This is subject, verb, direct object. And an example can be, they play the music. A third pattern is subject, verb, adverbial. And the example can be, the children played in the sand. And we have a fourth pattern, that is subject, verb, complement. For example, today was fun as usual. The students can write all these examples and consult them when they have to write the activity related with achievement. We can also tell the students to investigate the modal verbs. We use the modal verbs to express permission, ability, obligation, advice, criticism. For example, one of the modal verbs that we use is to express, ability is can, like Terry can speak Arabic, or we can go to the concert tomorrow if you like. But also, we can use be able to, like you will be able to take your driving test after a few more lessons. Something is happening here. I can move the next slide. Thank you very much. We use could to talk about ability in the past. For example, Tommy could read when she was 2 years old. And we can use the modal verbs for permission, like can, could, and may, to ask for and give permission for the future generally. And we may use may as may I go to school trip next week? Or may, we use it for a very polite situation, could for only polite, and can for less polite. The modal verbs for advice We use it to ask and give advice. We can tell the students to use should or ought to. For example, you should eat less fast food. And the future, we talk about future. We have the will and going to. We can use will for predictions, future facts, and to talk about spontaneous decisions. We can help our students, giving to them some examples like tomorrow it will be sunny. Patrick will recover soon. It looks like rain. Coco will take his umbrella. Our students already know that we use going to for future plans and intentions, like Laura is going to marry Hugo this afternoon. And it is also important to work with our students, the imperatives. They already know that they use the imperatives as a command or order, and that an imperative normally misses a subject. And when we use it in a negative form, we don't have to write the auxiliary do, as in don't drink the water. It is important to remember the students that we use root forms of the verb to create the imperative. For example, eat a balanced diet, give me that book, or clean your room. We as teachers always have to have a lesson plan for our classes. This is a suggested lesson plan format that we have been working with. In this lesson plan format, we have all the information we need to work with our students. For example, we have the group and the grade, the term we're going to work with, the date. Most of the time, the lesson plan is for a week. We have the environment, the social practice of the language, the communicative activity, the product, and the achievement. Then we write the time for the 3 moments of the class and the students' interaction. It can be the IW for individual work, the PW for pair work, TW for teacher work, and GW for group work. In this lesson plan, the achievement is write instructions, and the teacher can provide the students with different pictures about some attractive places to visit on a field trip. And for the development of the class, you can guide the students to develop a brainstorm with everything related to the planning of the field trip. For example, location, budget, transport, etc. And for the closing, you can divide the group in small groups so they can discuss and decide the points they're going to investigate. When the teacher is planning his class, he must take into consideration the transversality and add some activities that are related to Spanish and math. For example, Grutas de Garcia is one of the two texts that we can use with our students, and the other one is called Grutas de Garcia in Nuevo León, Step Inside Nature Art Gallery. Here, you can ask the students to identify the kind of text. For example, the text can be descriptive, instructional, scientific, expositive, etc.
Es innecesario otro grupo, maestra.
You can ask
Personal y luego directo.
the students to work with some math activities. For example, use the information about meters and feet, or kilometers and with miles, or the year in which the Garcia's cave were discovered. How many years ago were the Garcia's cave discovered? How many miles are in 9 kilometers? We have many forms to develop the transversality in this lesson. At the end of this achievement, the students are going to know how to write some instructions related with a field trip. If you can see in this lesson, there are many words in red. That means that you can use that information to work with your students, the transversality. This is the other activity that I told you called Grutas de Garcia in Nuevo León, Step Inside Nature's Art Gallery. Here we have the use of will. And you can ask the students to look for this grammar activity. And to finish, the teacher can evaluate the student's performance using an auto-evaluation activity, answering yes or no. For example, you can evaluate them given a paper where it says, I can identify the different modal verbs, or I can identify the different types of texts. I can realize different math activities, or I can follow and give instructions. Here, with this auto-evaluation, the student is going to know if he realized all the activities that the teacher asked them to do. Before we leave, please use the QR code to register your assistants. Remember, you have to use the QR code to register your assistants. And we want to thank you, teachers, for attending this meeting. And we will see you soon. Have an excellent day And I think that our boss, Doctora Tachita, wants to close this session. We're going to wait for her so she can close this activity, our English participation for today.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
We want to see you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Muchas gracias,
Thank
doctora.
Bye, thank you very much,
Adiós.
teacher.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Nice to
Thank
see
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a great day,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks. Have a nice
El material en la página de Redice, ¿verdad?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much.
Maestro, ¿no es posible poner el enlace de la opción 2 en el chat?
dice escanea.
No deja escanearlo.
Si no deja escanearlo, nada más hay que copiarlo en la barra de direcciones y ya te aparece.
Ya.
Gracias, Carlita, pero mándamelo mejor por link a mi WhatsApp, por favor.
Ah, bueno.
It is very difficult for me. I love you so much, you know.
I love you too, teacher. Bye bye.
Bye.
Aquí está ya.
Guys, all the information is gonna be on Redice today in just a few, I think a couple of hours, okay? So you're gonna get all the
Ya se
presentations
está acabando, profe.
and the QR, et cetera, right?
Thank you for the link for the attendance.
No, pegada. Está pegada. Sí, ahí están las ligas también. No sé dónde exactamente, pero ahí están los códigos.
Guys, can you please?
La pusieron
turn off
también en
your
el
mic?
grupo de la delegación de la secundaria. Ahí están.
Can you turn off your mic so Ms. Rivas can speak to you?
Sí, gracias. Disculpe.
Me puse mejor aquí mi celular porque en realidad les quedaba.
No, ya se salieron todos. Ya hay muy poquitos.
¿Lo pueden volver a poner, por favor?
Sí, que pongan
No alcancé a verlo.
que pongan el QR.
Sí, que lo pongan, por favor.
Por favor, si lo pueden volver a poner.
Carlita, no me lo enviaste.
De todas maneras va a estar en Redice para que se ubiquen en Redice todos.
Ah, ok, muchas gracias.
Sí.
Bye, bye.
Igualmente los materiales van a estar en Redice, no se preocupen.
Muy
Nos da mucho
amable,
gusto
gracias.
saludarles.
Buen día.
Buen día.
Ok, muchas gracias, maestra.
Buen día a todos.
Para los materiales o para la
Todos-
asistencia.
Todos los materiales van a estar en Redice y la asistencia, no sé, la maestra Medellín ahorita que les diga cómo va a estar lo de la asistencia, su registro.
Mi Noemi tiene el micrófono apagado.
Sorry. Thank you, Ana Maria. Thank you, Ana Maria. We're gonna put on,
Pero-
we're gonna upload in Redice all the presentation you saw right this moment, and as well as the QR and the link for your registration of attendance, okay?
Ah, ok.
And the files we use, like the file I use about planning. Also, it's gonna be 2 files, all right?
Okay,
See you
thank you very
soon.
much.
Bye, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.